Afternoon, everybody. Appreciate you guys being here.
Greg, you want to start us off?
Yeah, Governor, this morning, the President's heard a lot of bad words and bad things, mean things about you, but this morning you called for your response.
Well, let me tell you what I've been focused on today, and I think is what the people of Georgia want me focused on, and that is making sure if they need a hospital bed, they're going to get one. We're seeing our hospitalizations increase at an alarming rate right now. As you know, we're working frantically, as we talked about yesterday, to get the World Congress Center facility back opened up. I'm making sure that we're getting this vaccine distributed to all parts of Georgia and making sure that we're getting those on the front lines of the COVID fight vaccinated. That's happening right now in our hospitals. It's happening in our nursing homes, and I'm discussing with our team and Dr. Toomey about broadening that out so we can continue to get the vaccine out. And I've been focusing politically on the most important question that I believe we've seen in our state and the country in a long time, and that is sending David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler back to the United States Senate to save this country from socialism and handing the keys to Pelosi, Schumer, AOC, and Bernie Sanders. And that is what everyone else should be doing. All of this other stuff is simply a distraction.
But when he's attacking you and he's attacking Secretary Raffensperger and attacking Lieutenant Governor Kemp, do you worry that it distracts focus from those runners?
Well, all of these things are a distraction. I mean, I've supported the president. I've said that many times. I worked as hard as anybody in the state on his re-election up through November the 3rd. I've supported the legal process that him or any other campaign can go through in this state. But at the end of the day, I also have to follow the laws and the Constitution. And let me be clear. I do not forget what I told Georgians back on January 14th, almost 2 years ago, that whether they voted for me or not, I would be their governor and I would be working hard for them every single day. And I believe right now they would rather me be focused on making sure that we have enough hospital beds in this state and that we are getting the vaccine distributed so we can keep this great economy that we have in these perilous times moving in the right direction, and focusing on making sure that we save the Republican majority in the United States Senate. And that is what I'm going to continue to focus on. And that's what everybody else, quite honestly, should be focused on while the rest of the process is playing out.
Governor, you did have done many of the things, or people within the state government have done many of the things that the president has asked for, including the signature match on Kemp in Cobb County yesterday that revealed no fraud. Is the president just ignoring this? If you had the opportunity?
Well, you would have to ask somebody else about that. I called on the signature audit well over a month ago. I wish it had been done sooner than it was, but I'm grateful the secretary decided to do it. I've offered the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, and they asked for their help in these investigations, which is currently ongoing. The Georgia Bureau of Investigations helped in the signature audit that I actually called for. And let's be clear, I had no authority to order that signature audit, like many people text me and email me every single day. That, per the laws and Constitution of the state, lies with the Secretary of State, as all election matters do. So I've done the things that I can do under the power that I have by our laws and Constitution in this state, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the great work that the GBI has done over the last several days, because look, we got plenty of other things that we could be working on. It's no secret about the crime issues that we're seeing in Metro Atlanta, the work that they have done on the gang task force, human trafficking, many of things that we've worked with the Trump administration on. We line up completely on. So those are the things that we're focused on every day in Georgia, and my administration is as well.
Have you tried to personally reach out to the president, though, and have a conversation with him about some of these things that the folks within the state government have done to try and make sure?
Well, we talk to many members of the Trump administration all the time about all these issues. I met with Dr. Redfield, the head of the CDC, today about the vaccine distribution. He was in Georgia. I thanked him for his service and support that they have given the state. Dr. Toomey was there as well. We're going to continue to do that. I've gave him a lot of credit on Monday when we started rolling out the vaccine at our long-term care facilities and the great work that Operation Warp Speed has done. And we're going to continue to do that. I got to stay focused on the issues of the day in Georgia, not what somebody's tweeting or doing in some committee meeting in the Georgia State Capitol.
Governor, about that committee meeting, it was the GBI doing this signature match item. Rudy Giuliani just testified, quote, "The recount in Cobb County is a joke." What do you say about the president's attorney calling the work of the GBI a joke?
Well, that's a joke. He doesn't know the Georgia Bureau of Investigation very well. He doesn't know how hard they have gone after street gangs and human traffickers to save our children, to keep people from getting shot in broad daylight, their cars carjacked. He should do a little more due diligence on the fine men and women that we have at the GBI. And for that matter, you know, him giving Georgia State troopers that are working the Capitol grounds a hard time when he's trying to figure out where the committee meeting is, we don't appreciate that down here in Georgia. That's not how we treat people. They may do that in New York, but that's uncalled for. These are the finest people you could ever meet in your life that literally have been putting their life on the line, that literally work 12-hour days doing the signature match. These people were professionals. They know from day one when I hired Vic Reynolds, and by the way, you can look at Vic's resume of being a beat cop in the city of Atlanta, being a great DA in Cobb County, and now doing a great job at GBI. But these people are professionals. He knows, because I've told him more than once, you do the job the right way, you follow the truth, wherever that may lead you. And that is exactly what they did, and they'll continue to do.
Governor Kemp, you said your priority is making sure Senators Loeffler and Perdue are elected. Do you think that what the president is doing, undermining you and undermining the election system, is helping or hurting that priority?
Even that question, with no disrespect, is a distraction. And no one, whether you're mad at me, whether you like me, should get distracted by anything other than getting out to vote to save our country, quite honestly, from a socialist agenda, from defunding the police, from the Green New Deal, and all these other things that will wreck our economy and change America forever, I believe. That is where my focus is. I don't want to wake up on January the 6th and wonder what else I should have done. I'm doing everything I can with the time that I have to support sending them back up there. That's what I would ask my fellow Georgians to do as well, and that is what we should be focused on. All these other things, there is a constitutional and legal process that is playing out, and I'm very comfortable letting that process play out. But that horse has left the barn in Georgia, and it's headed to D.C. right now. The next vote is going to be there, not here. So people need to focus on the vote that is happening here, and that is right now in early voting, and it will be on Tuesday.
Do you plan to attend the Monday rally?
Well, I haven't been invited to the rally yet. I don't really have a whole lot of details on that. I haven't been focused on that. Obviously, you know, I have a lot of priorities on my plate right now that I mentioned earlier, and we'll just see when we get a little bit closer to that event. But I was with David and Kelly 2 nights ago, and you know, anytime they've needed me somewhere, I've been there.
Do you think that Republicans should be worried about Tuesday, given the distractions that you talked about?
Look, I think people are worried without the distractions. I mean, this is a concerning event that we have going on, but it's also a great opportunity for us to push back on this whole idea of Georgia is a blue state. I mean, you look at the combined Senate Republican majority votes in the state on November the 3rd, 53.7% of the vote. The state House Republican candidates, over 51% of the votes, because those people stayed focused on their agenda, which is a lot of my agenda. Teacher pay raises, you know, funding public safety and law enforcement, going after street gangs, going after people that are selling our children for sex and giving help to the victims, taking away ridiculous testing requirements that our parents and kids literally are getting anxiety over. Passing over 50 health care bills, including the Patients First Act, that is going to change the way we do health care and bring the private sector in and give more choice to the consumer with better pricing. Those are the kind of things that people want to vote for. People want to vote for something, and they have the opportunity to do that today, and they will the rest of the week and on Tuesday.
That's a great way to end. Thank you.
Thank you very much.